All conspiracy theorists are either a level 1 conspiracy theorist or a level 2 conspiracy theorist. During level 1, they learn the basics about GMO food, truth about 9/11, John F. Kennedy, fake news, etc. They learn things about stuff like after John F. Kennedy was assassinated, the 100 most important witnesses to the assassination were all systematically killed. Within 10 years, all of them were dead. Of course, the CIA, FBI, NSA, and Dallas police force did nothing about this. And the only way to explain something like this is if you have the existence of an Illuminati, if all the rich, powerful members of the government and corporate structure are in collusion in some sort of a big conspiracy to control the planet. When people become a level 1 conspiracy theorist, they typically try to figure out who's in charge of the world. They look at major politicians, top CEOs, but they soon find out that the rich American families are controlling them, like the Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, the Kennedys. But after they study those guys for a while, they soon figure out that they are subservient to their European counterparts. So when they want to try to figure out who's controlling the world, they start looking at the British royal family, the Pope, the Rothschilds, Zionists, Bilderbergers. But then they run into a serious problem. The only reason why they became a conspiracy theorist is because it's the only way they can explain everything they can see around the world, like the death of the 100 witnesses in the JFK assassination, and the fact that CIA, FBI, NSA, and the Dallas police force and media did nothing until, around, I don't know, recently a whole bunch of books on it were published. The only way they can explain that is if some secret organization was controlling the CIA, FBI, NSA, Dallas police force, and perhaps the media for decades, for at least the decade that it took to murder all those witnesses. But the problem they run into is the fact that the British royal family, the Pope, Rothschilds, Zionists, and Bilderbergers are all sprayed with chemtrails. They all sooner or later have to eat GMO food, because when you travel in America, you eat GMO food. And why are they destroying their own health? Why are they killing themselves? If they're really in charge, it doesn't make sense. And like I said, they only become a conspiracy theorist because the only way they can make sense of the world around them when they investigate all conspiracy theories is that there must be a secret group of people running the entire world, in control of virtually every government and corporation on the planet. It's the only way they can explain things like the article being published about Lee Harvey Oswald being the assassinator of John F. Kennedy. This was published in New Zealand before Lee Harvey Oswald was actually even arrested in Dallas. It just shows that somebody wrote the whole play before they played it all out. And you can't do this without having extreme control over so many aspects of American society. Okay, but back to the problem that the level 1 conspiracy theorists can't figure out. Why, as the British royal family, the Pope, the Rothschilds, Zionists, Bilderbergers, Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, politicians, head CEOs of these corporations, why are they spraying themselves with chemtrails? They're breathing it too. It's destroying their health. The electromagnetic pollution from cell phone towers and stuff like that's affecting them as well. Whenever they travel, they have to eat GMO food sooner or later. Their children eat GMO food. Why are they allowing their genetics to be destroyed like this? Why not do something like create a nasty virus to kill half the people on the planet and then give yourself an immunization for it? Why do something that destroys your own health? Well, then along came David Icke one day and he decided, gee, the one unifying characteristic on all these satanic groups that control the world is that they're all Satanists and they all do satanic rituals. So let's examine these satanic rituals and see what we can find. And he did that and found out that they're not actually in charge. The demons, ghosts, devils, or whatever you want to call it, that possess their bodies during the satanic rituals possess their bodies all the time, and they are essentially in charge. And in fact, the hierarchy of these Illuminati boys is dependent on the hierarchy of the ghost that occupies your body. And I personally have known a few low-level Satanists, and they definitely had somebody else inside their body goading them to do things that would constantly make themselves and those around them completely unhappy. So I can definitely attest to the fact that if individuals are involved in Satanism, they have somebody else inside their body telling them what to do, constantly goading them into getting bad karma somehow. Okay, so the only viewpoint that can explain why these Illuminati boys are destroying their own health and destroying their own farmland is that they are controlled by these outside entities that possess their bodies. You know, they're spraying so much Roundup on the farmland in America, some of it is not even viable anymore because the bacteria can't even grow in the soil. They're just wrecking the place. If the lord of a manor has his servants working on the manor, creating wealth for him, he doesn't wreck the place. He keeps them producing. He keeps them producing food, but they're just wrecking the place and destroying their own health. The only way to explain this is that they're not in charge. These demons, devils, ghosts, or whatever you want to call them, these interdimensional assholes, are controlling their bodies. So, you know, on the bottom rung of people who understand society, you have the normal people who are constantly looking at Democrats and Republicans and, oh, it's all Donald Trump's fault. No, it's the North Koreans, and look at the Russians and the Chinese. You know, they want us looking at this stupid little play. Okay, but level 1 conspiracy theorists look past that, and they're looking at, you know, the Rothschilds, Zionists, Bilderbergers, British royal family, the Pope, these guys who are controlling things behind the scenes. And yet, above the level 1 conspiracy theorists, you have the level 2 conspiracy theorists who have read David Icke's literature and realize that these guys are not actually even in charge. These interdimensionals that possess their bodies are in charge. And these interdimensionals that possess their bodies feed off of human negative energy, and perhaps animal negative energy as well. That would probably explain why ractopamine is injected into all the pigs in the U.S. It helps them produce more muscle mass, but it puts them in a state of constant pain. These interdimensional parasites can probably just hook onto those pigs and have plenty of food. And what they're doing to us with electromagnetic, basically trying to destroy our health, they're trying to put us in a constant state of pain. When the baby's first born, they want it injected with all sorts of metals. They want all sorts of nasty things done to these babies. Take them in a place where they'll have radiation all over the place and be sprayed with chemtrails, and they'll eat GMO food. They want to put everyone in a state of constant pain to produce food for them. We're just, with the level 2 understanding of how the world works, we're just a bunch of farm animals being farmed to produce pain, just like in the movie The Matrix. So like I said, to summarize, you got level 0 with average people looking at Democrats and Republicans. You've got level 1 level of conspiracy theorists, which actually understand that they're just a bunch of puppets, and the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Zionists, Bilderbergers are controlling everything in this world. And then above that, you've got the David Icke conspiracy guys that actually understand that those Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, etc. are being controlled by interdimensional parasites that are feeding off our negative energy. So if you look at the development that David Icke has given the alternative community, the average personality in the alternative field just spends all their time looking at how we're losing our freedom and how our health is being destroyed by these assholes that control the world. But David Icke was the first one to make the leap and move on to level 2 and actually understand that interdimensionals are controlling them, and we don't know how high it goes up. An average person may have the view that all our problems will be solved by arresting the politicians. Well, a level 1 politician or a level one conspiracy theorist would look at that and say, no, they're not even running the show. They'd just be replaced by somebody else. You got to go after the Rothschild Zionists and the Bilderbergers. But even those guys are not running the show. These interdimensionals are running the show. And I believe that David Icke's contribution is equivalent to all other personalities in the space combined, because he was the first one that made the leap from level 1 conspiracy theory thought to level 2 conspiracy theory thought. There's an easy experiment one can do to get rid of these interdimensional parasites, or at least most of them. At one time, I was in a room with about 10 of my friends, and somebody stood in the middle, and we all closed our eyes and we imagined tons and tons of love and light going into this person, entering in from the crown of his head and filling his entire being with just radiant light that would just blind everyone in the room. And as we did this, you know, the two people in the room that were sensitive enough to sense ghosts were just watching as all these entities and were actually exiting these people. And, you know, if you do that, you get to feel how it is without any of these entities parasiting on you. And it's a neat experiment to do, the love and light circle.